Hello! It's Jen coming to you from my home studio, and we are learning how to make a leather bracelet using my kit. So let's begin. In the kit, you will find instructions and a photo with some ideas of what you can make. Also in the kit, you're going to find a strip of leather for the base of your bracelet, and then also some different things that you can use to make your bracelet your own. So I've included some fibers, so embroidery floss, yarn, cording. I've included a bunch and a long length, so you can do with it what you would like. There's a baggie in there, and that has your clasp, which is called a hitch fastener, and a toothpick. And then there's also another piece of leather you can use for design. Let's talk about leather for a little bit. We are using upholstery leather today, so it's a thinner leather that's easy to work with for a beginner project. So this is what I have started out using. So big pieces of leather, and then I take either a rotary tool and a mat or a nice titanium sharp scissors to cut my leather. And you can use a scissors from home today to make some cuts that you will need to do. Let's talk about the leather hole punch. This is a fun tool to have around. Let's look at how it works. When using your hole punch, you are going to take your leather and place it in between the dial and the other pad on the side, and you are going to use both hands and press down. Then you're going to want to twist the leather to break that little hole off, or circle of leather off. Again, I'm giving it a squeeze, giving it a turn, and then you have a nice little hole. If you're thinking of getting a leather punch, get a heavy-duty model like this one. It comes with a dial of different size holes. On the one side, it has a readout of what size holes. So this one is 2mm to 4.5mm holes. A fun tool to have. In your kit, you have a plastic bag with your clasp in it. This clasp is called a hitch fastener. It is a great clasp and simple clasp to use when working with leather. It comes in two parts, the screw and the ball. You are going to want to use the side of your leather strip with the one single hole. Here's your chance to use, to decide which side of the leather you want to use, so your first design decision. And once you decide which side of the leather you want to use, put that screw end of your hitch fastener on the underside and up through the hole to the top. Then take a little bit of glue you have at home, if you want tacky glue or Elmer's glue, and put just a dot of glue on the tip of that screw. This isn't something you need to do, but you can do. Then take the ball and screw it on to the screw nice and tight. On the underside of that screw, there is a little indent that you can put a screwdriver in if you want to get it extra tight. There we go. You have now put on the clasp for your bracelet, and now we're going to fit it. So the other 3 or 4 holes on the other side of your bracelet are going to go over that hitch fastener to keep it secure. So fit it to your wrist. Decide which hole to put it in for the fit you want. It should be a tight fit. So you want it to be tight. Leather stretches, and so you want it to be tight. It will loosen up over time. If you find that it's too tight, take your scissors and put a little slit in that hole to make it a little bigger. If you have a thinner piece of leather and you can double it over like so, you can do that. I sometimes do that and leave the 2 holes. And then you want to take your scissors and you want to cut off the excess of your leather. Don't cut it off too close to your hole. You want to leave enough to grab. If you find that the holes aren't small enough for your wrist, you can take your scissors, double over your leather, and just put a little slit. Just make a little cut like I'm doing here, and that can go over the ball fastener too. You can also use your scissors to cut this piece of leather in any width you want. So if it's too wide for you, take a ruler and a pen on the back side, make your mark, straight line, and then cut it to the width you want. Well, let's talk about some things you can do to make your bracelet your own. So I'm showing you here samples of a braided leather bracelet and a knotted off fiber leather bracelet, and this one I've done some knotting and winding, and then this is leather on leather. So you have everything in your kit to make any of these bracelets, and let's go over some basics on what you can do. So I have included cording, a long strip, and you can use any of it that you want to. You just need to use enough so that when you knot it off, it doesn't come through your hole. And then here's the leather that you can also use. So we're going to be using the center 4 holes now to create your design in your leather bracelet. And with the leather, what I've done in the sample is I've simply put my leather strip in through the middle 2 holes, and then you have some excess on the back, and I'm just taking my glue, whatever you have at home, and gluing that down. I don't always even glue it down because it'll be a tight fit. Now with your scissors, you can make that leather strip any size that you want. So if it's too bulky, if it doesn't fit in the way you want, you can simply cut it with your scissors and until you find that it's the look you want. You could make strips of this and you could use it in a braid. The sky's the limit. So this is looking good. I'm just adjusting it to how I want it, and then I'm going to glue the back side of it. Yep, that's so adorable, simple and cute. Now let's talk about how we are going to use these fibers. You guys, like I said, we're going to be using the 4 center holes, so you can look at the pictures for ideas for the fiber part. We're going to be using those fibers, and we are going to be weaving them in and out of those 4 holes. So you can do that however you want. We're going to be starting by making a knot on one end. And if you want to make sure that that stays extra secure, you can put a dot of glue in that knot before you do it, before you tighten it super tight like this. Just a dot right in there. And then you're going to use your toothpick from your kit, and that's going to help you kind of put it through your holes. Now you could do anything as simple as just taking your time to put each fiber through that hole. The knot is going to sit on the end hole, and then you want to start weaving it through. So what I'm doing here is I kind of twist it at the top, and then I turn it over, and I pull those pieces of cord through with my toothpick. So however that works best for you to do, it takes a little bit of time, which is fine. You know, creating does take time. It's not something to rush. It's something to enjoy. and have fun with and enjoy the process. So I'm so excited to see what you guys come up with in the design of your bracelet. So please post any pictures to my Facebook Jenna Infinson Studio page. That would be fabulous. You can also ask me any questions there. You can see what else is going on. So I hope that you do that. And as I'm working on pulling this through here and working on my next step, this is a time when you could also get some tape out, and especially if you want to braid your cording, I always like to tape down my piece. You want to create some resistance and then give it a nice long braid, and then you are going to pull that back through the other two holes and end with a knot at the end. What a fun project. You now are going to have an amazing handmade piece of jewelry that is so much fun. You can snip these ends off any way you want. You can fray them out. That's kind of cute. Here's a completed project with the knot on each end, and it just strung through. And there's the braided project. So here I'm using masking tape to tape this down. And it's a really easy way to braid it. I think it would be really fun to add the leather in there and in with the braiding. That would be a fun design aspect. I hope somebody does that and shows me. And we are almost done, you guys. I'm so excited to see your projects. Let this be the start of many fun projects. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye, guys.